Hello, everybody. This is Sarah, your medium on the go, coming to you live from the top of Spring Hill on the beautiful north side of Pittsburgh, chilly north side of Pittsburgh. So I just finished up doing a Facebook Live, and I was hoping that I could maybe get some of the people that it was a different thing with the personal questions. Oh, I've got somebody already. That some people would spill over onto this one, but I will be uploading this at the end. So I decided that unless if somebody does feel free to type a question in the chat, I will pull some cards over that. But what I'm going to basically do is deal with two topics very quickly today. The first one is the documents. I had hoped that I only had to address that once, but I kind of knew I was dreaming on that. So I do want to do a read on that, but I don't think it's going to be a whole lot different than a lot of my colleagues here. I will do have a word of advice for people. Really, and this goes back to before the election, when all of these people on cable news and everything else were so wrong about everything. I would say to keep your sanity, really try to hold down on watching cable news. CNN is kind of like Fox Light now. The only one I care to hear from on that station is Anderson Cooper, I think, maybe some others, but him definitely. And it's just a way to keep your sanity. So for the week, I did pick an angel card, just for all of this soon to be over Mercury retrograde energy. And I picked this from the what's her name angel deck. What's her name? This is Archangel Ariel Courage, and it's be courageous, stand up for your beliefs, which is very important. But the flip side of that is that if people want to believe the most god awful things about Biden with this document thing, there's going to be no changing their mind. So I may do a couple draws on that. And the one thing that has been going on that's very interesting with my colleagues and I seem to be a little bit divided as to whether the documents were planted. I'm thinking that in the instance of his garage and that sort of thing, I think they were. I think that this is my intuitive hit. I believe that in his office that he had in Pennsylvania, I'm thinking that's carelessness, like whoops, like I posted on Facebook, like whoops, I forgot I had those library books, which I did a lot of when I was in school. So, which is different than trying to, keep them from the government, flush them down the toilet or whatever whatever was being done. So I'm going to do a quick read, just a 3 card. So the basic energy of if they were planted from the illuminated deck is okay. Very interesting. We've got the 9 of Wands here, which is kind of like the indicator. Let's see if I can, do this in a better light. The 9 of Wands in reverse. Okay. Then I have got the 8 of Pentacles. Very interesting. This is starting to gel a little bit. And then finally, with one of these little guys, I've got Temperance in reverse. So this is so what this signified, though, 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior that comes back to fight another day. And in this card, I would say that there's probably a lot more wounding that went on. And I did ask this as far as whoever may have planted the document. So we have that. The Eight of Pentacles was uh, some financial planning that when you look at it, or some sort of planning, when you look at it, there may be some regret that it didn't go so well. Then you have Temperance in reverse, which is kind of the outcome. And I'm going to say that I would say that if whoever did this, or and I also want to talk about this as I'm seeing this also as the Republicans trying to make hay out of this, and the Trump people in particular. This is kind of like a desperate, very, very desperate uh, battle that they're fighting. That probably is just like trying to throw a teacup of water into Niagara Falls to stop it, or something like that. And that because of all of the things coming down with Trump, that those people are a little bit battle weary. And I'm going to say that whoever that, and I do believe that if there was a mole, that this shows the desperation of the attempt, and that be due to the nature of the lack of the small number of the documents, this whole thing wasn't planned out so well to have a very big impact once the dust clears. Because if you're trying to put an equivalency to Trump, then then it's pretty much it wasn't big enough, or and now, and I even think that even though they have this super Republican special counsel, this it's going to be like the Hillary emails. There's not going to be anything illegal found, and it'll almost be like, why did they waste my time? So I think in the end, because of this, and I do believe that if this is true, that this may do more harm to them in the end, that they may be thrown further off balance, because this just didn't have the results that they were hoping for. So I can get a few different meanings out of this, and one being is that this is kind of like a lame attempt. And once all the talking heads kind of run out of steam and go for the next shiny object, and the dust settles and people see this for what it is, that I think that something else will be taking up the news cycle. And I think I want to do, let's see, what do I want to do? Another read on this about the maybe the special counsel and pretty much what will be found, and see if the cards kind of go along with this. But I would say that in the end, the people that watch the MAGA red hatters, that watch Fox and all that sort of thing, they're just going to believe whatever they want to believe. I think that I mean, they're talking about the swing voters. I think they're pretty split up as to what their leanings are. So I saw someone on MSN. I watched it, so you didn't have to. Someone on MSNBC who, I mean, you were talking about in Florida yet, a very small section, like scientifically, that would not really count as anything valid as to what the swing voters are. And they seem to be kind of split on that. But they had Democrats, Republicans, independents. So you don't pay too much attention to that. So I'm going to see, I forget what, I'm going to see what this special counsel guy is, what's going to pretty much happen with him. Probably like a lot of the judges that Trump appointed, that they don't exactly go along with him. This is interesting. The Five of Pentacles. This is kind of like the poverty out in the cold, and disappointment, and Okay, so we've got that. Then we've got justice. Okay, this is very interesting. And then out of this deck, we've got the King of Wands in reverse. So it's very interesting. So I'm going to say I do feel as though whatever this special counsel digs into, it's probably going to come up as is not anything. And I'm going to say up to since this guy was a Trump appointee and that sort of thing, that I'm going to say if he doesn't find anything, he doesn't find anything. But I'm going to say this could also say that the Trump people will probably turn on him like they have the other people. And the same old story. Okay, justice. What this is saying is that justice will be done. And it seems logical that it follows this card because I would say that I may not be in agreement with this person on a lot of things, but I'm going to say that I'm feeling as though he'll say the law is the law. There's nothing there. There's nothing that can be done, but at least Garland went, at least he appointed someone just for the optics of it, and that's pretty much how it's going to turn out. But this is really interesting. As a result, I am seeing Trump. He comes up as a lot of kings, and this is the crazy. I mean, the King of Pentacles in reverse. That's the corrupt, criminal Trump card. When it comes up as the King of Wands in reverse, this is like the philandering, unfaithful, not wrapped too tight king. I'm going to say that there will be probably a big time meltdown over this. So I think that's what's going to happen, that's going to send him further over the edge. But what these tell me is what I suspected. The guy's going to do his job. Maybe he really wants to find something, but if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And maybe that but the card of poverty may speak of the regrets, because maybe he may find some wrongdoing as far as how those documents got there. But I think that as this moves along and the energy shifts, I will be doing further readings about this. So when I go to the debt ceiling now, and it's very disturbing about what could happen to the global economy if these people dig their heels in. And I think one question I want to ask is that this is a theory I've kind of had. I've somehow thought, and and this is funny because this has been touched on not only by other psychics, but by Michael Moore too, who has been very I always say he's one of us, but he's been pretty accurate in the fact that there may be some of these Republicans from the bluish, purplish districts that may cross the floor and become independents. And I think my left brain says, Sarah, you're nuts. But I said that when I thought we wouldn't have a red wave either. But that's not out of the realm of possibility. So I'm going to ask the cards about the possibility of that, because I think that even if they don't do it, I'm feeling as though the threat of that may pull them in line. So I'm going to see, what do the cards say about the moderate Republic? I know there probably aren't that many of them, and Mary Trump doesn't think there are any of them, which I can kind of understand. But I think that I don't know that they would do it out of altruism. They may do it out of political survival. So that's my cynical little take on these guys. So let's pull a card and see what's going on with them and the debt ceiling. So we have, okay, this is telling me that these people from the these Republicans from the bluish districts, they're really worried about this. This is they're real. This is really, really keeping them up at night. And I think their thoughts are like of all the not horrible things that could happen, maybe more or less to their careers than to the world economy, but knowing that if people get really screwed in their districts, that's kind of the end of them. So I think they're really starting to worry about this because they're talking about spring and that sort of thing. So the Empress. Okay. The Empress. I'm going to tell you, as far as the House of Representatives, that this is a Nancy Pelosi card. And I think that she and her protege are chatting these people up. I think they're really looking ahead. And I think that behind the scenes, she still has a lot of power, although she's kind of passed the torch. But I've been, since I've been doing these readings on Facebook, Instagram, and I see the demise of Republicans and Trump, there are always some very strong female cards that come up throughout all of this. So I'm seeing that Nancy Pelosi may be working. I mean, I think she's probably telling Jeffries, now is the time. We're not going to hit them like with a sledgehammer, but now is the time to kind of start to work on these people a little bit. So I'm going to say that she is playing a very big part. And I think that with her and her cohorts, they would never, ever say that what they're doing with the news conference. But I really have had the biggest feeling that she's working. She's planting the seeds. And then we have, oh, here we go. The High Priestess in reverse. This is telling me about a lot of dirty little secrets that may be coming out as a result of this. Santos is kind of like the clown of this, but I'm going to say that he's probably not alone. I'm going to say that I think what this is telling me is that Nancy knows, she's been around long enough. She knows where the bodies are buried. And it's kind of like a very female Lyndon Johnson in that respect, that I'm going to say that there may be some things that she knows or can dig up about some of these that could be very, very useful. So I'm going to say a lot of this is on the dark, this woman sitting between the light and the dark column. I do believe this goes with the dark column. This is quite the toxic House of Representatives. So I'm thinking that there's a lot of dark stuff going on with a lot of people that may be used in some way, because that's politics. It may be used in some way as leverage to maybe flip some of these people. So I think I want to do just kind of like an outcome, what I feel could be a short-term outcome, because I'm going to say this thing is going to be changing, and I will be doing more readings on this. But let's see, the Ace of Swords in reverse is that I'm going to say that there's kind of like a lot of lies and subterfuge going on. They're kind of buried right now, but I don't think they're going to be buried for very long. So I will say that when this guy goes upright and a lot of stuff get cut through, I think a lot of people could be flipping. And when I see things in reverse that could mean the opposite, they always have the potential of going upright. And it's like the truth. You can only lie for so long, and the truth eventually comes out. I think that's the message of this card. So there's a really good chance that things could be happening that they just may not, these crazies with Kevin McCarthy just may not be getting everything they want, and they may be coming up against things that they do not expect. So I think I'm going to end it here. I will be back on Wednesday, all things being okay, at the usual 5 o'clock time. So I will post this and I will see you the next time. Bye.